Lara, president of militaryfairs.com. Your one-stop shop for travel if you're a member of the military. If you're a veteran like I am or a family member of a military person, go to militaryfairs.com. Great prices on airfare, hotels, vacations, and also gigsky.com. Here's the deal. If you go to militaryfairs.com, you book through there, use promo code militaryfairs, and you get a gig of free data, plus you get 20% off of any other data purchase you make. Check them out, gigsky.com. Let's talk about excursions on river cruises. When you go on excursion, you get, they're in your cabin, these little devices. You just throw it over your head and you wear it. And then you got this little earpiece thing here, you plug it in, put it over your ear, and then you have the tour guide up there holding his lollipop. That's the thing with the circle. It says number 6, says Riviera. Travel, he's walking around, follow the leader. And with these devices, you can be kind of far away from him if he's ahead of the group there, and you can hear him. On the left is the church, on the right is a museum, on the left is the winery, on the right is the beer, on the left is the crepe place. So that's the excursion. Now, excursions are different on river cruises versus ocean cruises, right? For the most part, the excursions are included on a river cruise. Now, if it's a museum or a wine tasting or something special, yeah, they may charge you $25 or $19 to go on a specialty excursion. But for the most part, the excursions are included. Now, some cruise lines have 2 a day, some have 1 a day. It just depends on the cruise line. Viking, AmaWaterways, Riviera, Riverside, Talk, whoever. You just got to look for the details, right? Now, I can hear what you're asking me. Hey, Scott, what about tipping? Good question. Now, here on Riviera, you have to understand it's a primarily UK clientele, right? I think I'm the only American on this ship. And for tipping, at the end of the voyage, you get a envelope. Actually, you get 2 envelopes. One envelope to tip the crew. It's kind of like on ocean cruises, right? $16 a day, $20 a day. And you can prepay your gratuities, which I highly recommend you do, because the cruise lines raise these gratuities almost every month. So if you book an ocean cruise 6 months out, prepay your gratuities and you can make sure you're going to get that grandfathered price in. If you wait till you sail, they may raise the prices. Who knows? But when I'm talking about tipping, okay, now let's talk about river cruises. They recommend a certain amount per day, either €8 a day, €10 a day, whatever. They'll give you a sheet, and then you have your credit card or your debit card, or you can pay in cash the tips that you feel the crew earned. And supposedly it goes into a pot and it's divvied out among the crew members. Now, we all know on ocean cruises, there's a lot of controversy about it. A lot of people think, that corporate gets that money. Who knows where that, I don't know where that money goes. I really wish John Heald of Carnival would come out and say, okay, here's where it's going. John, just do it. Just tell us. Because you and I both know, if you've been on an ocean cruise, the night before that cruise ship returns to port, home port, there's a line 7 miles long, and it's not people saying, hey, there's a wrong charge on my bill. There's a charge for a rum and coke, and I don't drink rum and cokes. What happened here? That's not what they're doing, and you know it. They're taking off their tips. They may have Timmy and Brittany on board who are 7 and 8 years old. They want to remove those kids' tips, or they spent too much money in the casino, or spent too much money in the spa, or spent too much money over at Park West buying pictures, not photographs, what am I saying, artwork. Oh my gosh, look at our bill. Oh my gosh, we better go down there and take off that $16 or $20 per day per person times 4, 5, 7, 10 days, which could be hundreds of dollars, and they remove those tips. Do you remember back in the day, several years ago, NCL had this deal where they said, you cannot take off your tips. They're mandatory. And if you do, you have to wait till you get home, send us an email, and be specific. K2'd in the dining room, spilled milk on my son. K2'd up on the Lido deck, didn't clean up my plate. I want to remove my tips. And tipping is a big deal. That's another video. I think I just did one. But this is why I'm doing this video. I want to talk about some people on the ship that are not really a part of the company. Dear guests, to make the most out of your tour, we recommend you read the daily program sheet. Here you can find information on the surrounding area and daily itinerary. Alongside your MS George Elliott crew, your onboard Riviera travel cruise team will be Janet, who's our cruise director, and Elaine, who's the cruise concierge. Your cruise team will be responsible for coordinating excursions and liaising with the ship's dedicated crew. They will accompany your daily excursions, providing commentary and highlighting places of cultural interest. Your cruise team will also organize onboard entertainment and provide insightful commentary whilst sailing. The Riviera desk is located on the Ruby deck opposite the reception desk. Our aim is to ensure you have an enjoyable cruise, so please do not hesitate to contact your cruise director, cruise concierge, or receptionist if there's anything we can do to make your stay more comfortable. On behalf of Janet, Elaine, and the MS George Elliott crew, we'd like to thank you for choosing Riviera Travel. Now, I know what you're asking me. Hey, Scott, hey, what? Is the cruise manager and the cruise concierge part of the crew? No. They are, I don't want to say freelancers. They are just independent people who Riviera has probably vetted to provide the services they provide, what I just read you. So on the evening before we return home to our port, 2 envelopes. The one envelope is going to be for the crew and whoever gets that money, if it's the waiters, the waitresses, the guy washing clothes, whoever they give that money, the pot, that's envelope 1. Envelope 2 is going to be Janet and Elaine, the cruise director and the cruise concierge. Now, I've been trying to find the paper. I don't have it handy. But somewhere I read here on Riviera, €8 a day, €10 a day recommended tip to be thrown in envelope 1, the big pot. So, all right, 7-day cruise, €10 a day, 70. That's nothing. I mean, you figure 16 a day, 18 a day, 20 a day on an ocean cruise. Now, granted, they got more people. I mean, you got on Oasis, maybe you got 5,000 passengers and you got 1,200, 1,300 crew members. So, okay, it's going to be whatever, $20 a day. But on a river cruise, there are only 36 crew members here, and then you got Elaine and you have Janet, who are extra. They are extra people. So there's going to be 2 envelopes. Now, here's the problem. I know what you're thinking. Hey, Scott, I've got a credit card or a debit card with 0 foreign transaction fee. And that's good. A lot of, like a Wells Fargo card can have a 3% foreign transaction fee. It adds up after a while, right? But you have a card, if you have a card without a foreign transaction fee, you just go up to the front desk, here's my card, I want to throw $100 on for the pot. But from what I understand from Elaine and Janet, all they can take is cash. And so I think if people did not go to the bank or did not exchange money for euros, like US for euros, I mean, and I think they recommend per person for Janet and Elaine like $25 or 25 euros. And you figure 25 times 132 people here on the ship, I think is a good amount of money for them because they're extra. And I will tell you, they are both very kind, they're very knowledgeable, they're very, very present. They're always there, come over here, group 4, they're on the bus with you, they're on the microphone, the left, the right, and they deserve something, they really do. But I think it's critical for those of you who are going on river cruises, and I'm sure this is not just Riviera. I know it was also on the cruise director on AmaWaterways, the Ama Magna. There was a young lady who was a cruise director, and people tipped her extra on top of the crew. You know what I'm saying? So if you have any questions, email me, scott@militaryfairs.com. I'll give you more details. But again, I did a video on tipping. I really think tipping is important. We should tip the staff. Scott Lara, president of militaryfairs.com. Special promotional consideration to Riviera Travel for inviting me on the MS George Eliot. I'm loving this. I'm having a great time. The food, the service, my cabin, everything is absolutely perfect here in Strasbourg today. Special shout out to Gig Sky. Check them out for their eSIM data plans. Check out Scoot Around if you need a scooter for your next cruise. Check out Travel Insured. Definitely get travel insurance before any trip. It's just that peace of mind. Scott Lara, thecruisegenius.com, president of militaryfairs.com. Have a great day.